Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Black on Black Wealth podcast, where we have interesting and exciting conversations with people from around Chicago and around the world. Today, I am joined by painter, tattoo artist, choreographer, yogi, and all around Renaissance woman, my homie, my business associate, my fellow artist, Key Inc. What's up? What's up? What's up,
Hey
baby?
there, hey there, hey y'all.
How you be, man? First of
I'm
all,
good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So first of all, I just want to thank you for coming and joining me today.
For sure.
I literally called you today and was like, "Yo, I need to shoot. I need to get it out here, right?" And you was like, "Fuck it, let's do it, right?"
Hell
So,
yeah.
so we made it happen, man. I'm happy to have you in the studio. How you feeling today?
I'm good. I feel nervous right now, but I'm real good.
Yeah.
It's an
Okay.
elated moment right now.
Okay, well we ain't doing nothing. We just gonna talk a talk a little shit,
Let's
swallow a
chop it
little
up.
spit. Yeah, let the people know what you got going on out here.
Mm-hmm.
What you got shaking. So I'm gonna ask you some questions, and we just gonna talk like I never met you before, right?
Let's
So
go.
you gonna break it down to me,
Uh-huh.
and you gonna tell the people all about you. So you got a lot of things under your belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got painter, you got tattoo artist, you got choreographer, and you got yogi. So
Mm-hmm.
let's start with tattooing because when I met you at our event
Yeah.
at the Sip and Paint and you introduced yourself and you're like, I'm a tattoo artist, I'm Kiera. You were so smooth and cool and professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Still the
So yeah,
same.
so break it down to me, man. How did you end up in the tattoo business?
um, I was like 17. My sister, she's 18, so she came home and my cousin had did her a big leg tattoo. And I'm like, yo, like that's on there forever? She like, yeah. I'm like, damn, how much you pay for that?
Mm-hmm.
That was my first question. How much you pay for that? She told me the price, even though she was lying. But she told me the price. I was like, I could be getting that.
Right.
So I was already like within the arts and stuff like that heavy, but I really ain't know nothing about tattooing. My people's never made it like it was so sacred. Like, oh, you can't get this and you can't get that. I wanted to go get me a tattoo. My mom was like, you gotta wait till you're 18. I'm like, girl,
Right. Right.
for what? So I waited though. I
Okay.
waited. So then I had went and got me my first tattoo.
Okay.
It was like, it was painful.
At what age?
I was going on 18.
Okay.
It was in my 18th year.
Okay.
But it was so painful. I was like, yeah, I don't know about this shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do this to people. I don't want this done to me no more.
Right.
I got up, looked in the mirror. I was like, I'm finna wear a shirt that's finna be showing out.
Ah!
It was my first piece. It
Yeah.
was on my stomach. So I'm like, all right, cool. Literally. Not even a month later, I was in there getting another tattoo. I think,
Yeah.
I want to say this is my second piece on my
Okay.
shoulder.
Okay.
But I was really thinking about the clothes I wanted to wear.
Right.
So now I'm like, all right, cuz, can you teach me how to do this?
Yeah.
He like, shit, if you for real, I got you.
Right.
I went for real though.
Right.
So I went to college,
Yeah.
bought a kit.
Mhm.
That kit was used for a trophy stand, a TV stand,
Okay.
shit, whatever it could stand for, it was used for it except for tattooing.
Okay.
Came home, got into corporate America. I was like, this ain't it. Around that time, it was 2019. Opened that kit up. I was like, damn, there was all this stuff in here.
Yeah.
So it was a whole lot of like the inks, the fake skin, the needles, even the machines, like the coil machines. So I just learned how to put them together. Went to my cousin. He started teaching me on the rotary though.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, this is what I got at home though.
Right.
So he was trying to teach me on that too, but he was doing what he could do as well as being an artist himself.
Right.
So he had me do like a tattoo on his hand right here with the rotary.
Okay.
I do it.
Yeah.
I wipe. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. You was scared. You was
I
scared to
was
get in that
shaking. I was
skin.
He was like, "You good?" I was like, Like,
You
am I
gotta,
hurting you?
you got to dig a little bit.
Hey, let me tell you, I was shitting bricks.
Okay.
I wiped it. It was nothing there. I was shitting more bricks.
Okay.
I'm like, where did it go? So he was like, all right. After that, he seen like how into it I was,
Right.
but he saw how scared I was too. So then he took his time teaching me more. He gifted me my first rotary, all type of you dig, and then
Okay.
from there I had told him like, I'm like, I fuck with this shit. Like I'm doing this because I want to do it for me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go way beyond this hood shit. I'm like, I'm finna do what the BM.
Right.
So he like, yeah, cuz you gotta do this, whatever, like that.
Mhm.
And then he got busy.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, you're my mentor. Like you're not picking up the phone. I need you. I'm calling you in this session. I don't know how to shade.
Right.
I don't know how to finish this line work.
Right.
I had to teach myself. So
Yeah.
then from that point, like yeah, he taught me the basics, like the fundamentals of like shading and light and contrast depth.
Okay.
But the rest of that, I teaching myself the needles, how far to pull out the cartridges,
Mhm.
switching from cartridges and stuff like that from the coils. Everything it was trial and error.
Yeah.
But and even today, it's still trial and error. But
Yeah.
I'm more like confident in the craft than I was at year one, well,
Right.
year
Right.
zero.
So how many years you been in the tattooing industry?
If oh my god, time be flying in the tattoo industry.
Yeah.
Like
We
if
were
it was up to me, I feel like I've been in this shit for like 8 years, and when
yeah.
I do the math, it's only been like five.
5.
6 years will be the end of this year.
But that's a good you seasoned, man. You
Yeah,
seasoned. They say you don't really get good as a tattoo artist until like your 5th year.
yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, probably 90% of people don't make it past year 1 or 2 because
It's
yeah,
hard.
because of all the stuff you just described. It's a
Yeah,
lot of learning. It's a lot
and
of
then not to mention your people skills,
yeah, your
your
people.
hustling skills.
Right,
Can you pull people in? And so by the time I started tatting, though, I had a lot of tattoos, but not as many as I have now.
right.
But I had a lot, enough to like gauge somebody in conversation, and then they're like, yo, like your tattoo look nice. Who did that? And I'd be
Mhm.
like, yeah, my cousin did that, but I
I
do
tattoo.
tattoos too. What you trying to get done? They're like, oh, let me
Yeah.
see some of your work now. I'm like, look at this. Now my shit. You look back at your old shit, you like,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. But at the time, people was rocking with it, so and they trusted me,
Yeah.
and I fuck with it.
Okay. Okay. That's what's up, man. So where are you at now? Or what shop are you working with now?
I work at VIP's Tattoo Shop. It is located on 18th Street near the South Loop,
Okay.
right by 18th and Canal. I'm
Okay.
over there. I'm the only female at the shop, and
Mhm.
it's like I want to say it's 6 men, and then it's me,
Mhm.
Big Key.
Okay. And how is that with the lady vibes? You bringing the lady vibes to the shop?
I try to. I try to.
Yeah.
Like I have my neo soul playing and all type of shit like that. Like just
Okay.
giving it that little the nature vibe and shit.
Yeah.
I be chill.
You,
But I told them though it be giving barbershop vibes with
yeah.
all the guys.
You burning a little incense in there. You giving them a little culture.
Now my man's Rod, he do me that burning his candles and stuff. So
Yeah.
he
Okay.
culture with it. I fuck with
Keep it sexy. Keep it
it. Yeah.
sexy. Okay.
Keep it
Okay.
smelling good.
Cool. So tell me about the journey. So you start tattooing out of the crib,
Hmm.
right? You in the living room. We all started in the living
I was in the
room.
kitchen.
Oh, okay. We started in the kitchen or the living room. As long as you ain't in the bathroom, I think you're good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so you
Yeah.
started and you're doing your thing. So or I should say shortly after I met you, we were both a part of the Black Ink family
Hmm.
because I was at Nine Mag Tattoo and you were at
Second
Second
City
City
Ink.
working with Charmaine
Hmm.
Tattoo. So how was your transition uh from the kitchen to the
Now,
shop?
okay, how
Yeah,
did that go? Okay, so I was tatting at the crib.
right.
Uh, I was posting like crazy.
Okay.
Just posting my life, everything. I'm in the camera,
Yeah.
everything I'm doing. When I left actually I had went to a lash shop for a year.
Okay.
Um, when I left the last shop, I went to a dispensary,
Okay.
literally for 1 month.
Okay.
And Charmaine hit me up in the DM. She's like, "Yo, you want to come over here? We watch the film." I'm like, "Hold the fuck up!
Yeah.
What? Gee, I was in college watching y'all on TV, Ryan them, this and that, or whatever like
Yeah.
that. So at the moment, I'm geeked. I'm like, what? I'm hitting my sisters and them up. They like, girl, you got to take that shit. I'm like, y'all, but I just got over here to the dispensary.
Right.
At the time, I was mentoring underneath Angel Inc., Angel Illustrati.
Okay.
So he like, you just want to go over there? I'm like, shit,
Yeah.
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 Like
It's an
it was an
opportunity.
opportunity. So
Right.
I'm like, shit, like it's plenty of artists over there I can learn under. But I was also telling him like, shit, we artists in this shit. Like I'm gonna still fuck with you too, but I want
Right.
to go over there for a little while.
Right.
I did. I was over there for like a year.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think like a year or something. It
Okay.
was cool.
So what did you learn?
Um, so I feel like it was a lot of artists that worked over there.
Mm-hmm.
So just different styles and stuff like that. Like I learned, I built my confidence over there with different things and everything. Cause at the time, it was like a lot of the internet shit going on, well, getting bigger at the time. So
Right.
it was a whole lot of like rah rah, all
Right.
y'all ain't good artists, this and that. At the time, people was they was hating Charmaine and shit, so they was dogging our work online. So it was
Right.
like it was fuel. So I'm over
Yeah.
there, I'm working on my color.
Right.
I'm looking at Prince over there, he jugging out big pieces. Kobe over there smoking shit with
Yeah.
color. I'm like,
Kobe.
damn,
Kobe a monster.
he's
Yeah.
smoking shit.
Yeah.
Jose doing the portraits.
Yeah. He
Ceci got
nice too.
the she prick stitching and her line work.
Yeah.
It was just a whole lot of different vibes in there, and so
Okay.
it was like I didn't feel like I had to stay in one lane.
Okay.
But then I did find my lane. I was like, well, I like to do color cover ups.
Okay.
I like to do my black and grays. I like the forearm. Like I was learning like what body parts and stuff I like to do, and then just sometimes when they'll come like shadow me and they behind me watching it, the feedback they'll just give like run your machine slower or
Okay.
take your time with. Kobe told me like with the shading, he like flick your wrist.
Lick your wrist.
I'm like, huh? Because me and him first started with the portraits, and I was so scared.
Yeah.
I was
Portraits are a scary thing because you got to be exact.
like, man,
Yeah. There's no room for interpretation.
let me tell you,
Yeah.
it was scary.
Okay.
We practiced on fake skin though.
Okay.
So that was also another difficult part because the fake skin is different from real skin.
Okay.
But it was a portrait of my mama.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't fuck this up.
Right.
I did fuck it up, but still, it don't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah. Nah, you didn't fuck it up.
Not to say like it was fucked up, but like as a vetted artist now, the shading
Right.
was like you could see where it was like boxed at. You could see where I went whipping my hand,
Whipping the
or my
wrist.
wrist. So
Yeah.
you know,
Well, as artists, our work is always different. It looks different to us than it does to other people.
oh yeah, I'm a major critique of my own
Yeah.
work. Like that's why I don't like post so much now because like I would literally finish some shit, take a picture, I'd be like, oh, this raw. I'm geeking my client up. They like, Key, this is so fucking raw.
Yeah.
And I go back and look at the pictures and I'd be like,
Yeah.
the light not good right there. Or I missed the line. Dang,
Yeah.
should have put white right there. Like it'd be a whole lot of stuff I'd be critiquing myself
I
on.
feel
And then
that.
it'll be I'll look at that same picture or video 3 months later. I'd be like, damn, that's cold. Why I never uploaded that?
Yeah.
So in the moment of me first doing it, it
Yeah.
just be me beating myself up. But then like later on, I'd be like, girl, post that shit. That shit raw.
You want to know a secret? I feel the same way. And when I'm finished and I take pictures, I never look at them until the next day.
Yeah.
Because the next day I come back and I'm like, oh shit, who
It's a
did that?
fresher mind.
Yeah.
Like especially after you done sat there for hours
Mm-hmm.
in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And you know what else I learned? I learned to take more breaks because it helps to walk away from the piece and clear your mind and put it on something else. And
Yeah.
then when you come back, it's like a new piece.
facts.
And then you see, okay, let me add some dark here. Let me add some light here.
And just letting the skin settle.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I had went to the Black Tattoo Experience this past December
Okay.
in Miami.
Mhm.
And one thing I know we had talked about was just like slowing down.
Okay.
So one of my over the years, literally, that was one thing artists that I work with always say, you work fast. Damn,
Yeah.
you done with that already?
Yeah.
Ooh, out the bam. So now when I pay attention, I be like, damn, had I took, say, an hour and a half longer on that piece,
Right.
it'd have been chef's kiss to how I wanted it.
Right.
And so when I started, literally, when I came back from Miami and I did my sessions, every piece after that, when I took my time,
Yeah.
the lines and the depth and the lines and everything,
Mhm.
the contrast, the boldness, like seeing it from across the room, everything like was just standing out to me. And I was like, damn, let me start taking my time more. But I know myself. I be in my head, I be like, nah, I gotta get this shit done.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are we like that? I think all artists, I think all tattoo artists, we start out with time on our mind.
I think it'd be because too, like you got the clients be like, they be on some how long this gonna take, or I
Right.
got this and that to do. Like,
Right.
please give me your devoted time and attention, and give me a day where you got all the time you need. Cause they'll always hit me up. They be like, well, I want to know what your availability is. No, what's your availability?
Right.
Cause I'm
Right.
busy as fuck.
Right.
So if you let me know what you was like, I can close my schedule off, and you gonna be my busiest fuck that day.
Yeah. I dig that.
Don't come in here to about how long it's gonna take. At 7 o'clock, I gotta be here. It's 4. What you mean?
Yeah. I
Count
dig
that out. You ain't making it.
Yeah. Taking your time really does make a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
In the details, because the details.
I pride myself on doing details. Like that's one thing I know. When people approach me, they'll say stuff like, "Oh, well, I like your style of work. Like you do Afrocentric pieces, but then you have your detailing and it stands out." I'd be like, "Damn, you saw that?"
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Yeah." I'd be like, "That's raw.
Yeah.
What you like about it?"
Yeah.
And then they talk to me about it. I'd be like, "Damn."
Yeah. Hey, you
Would
know
they
my
say, "Damn, Daniel"?
yeah. Word. Hey, the best compliment you can get as a Chicago anything is you raw as
You
hell.
raw as hell. I swear to God, you raw as hell.
I love it, man. I love it. So you say you were at the Black Ink, the Black, what was it? The Black Tattoo.
Black Tattoo Experience.
This was Cats.
No, so Cats is
Okay.
hers was called the Cat Tattoo Experience. That was
Okay.
in September.
Okay.
The Black Tattoo Experience is that's with Swiss, and
Okay.
he has people on his panels like Lady L. You know, I'm part of
Yeah.
Ladies of Ink
Ladies of
organization.
Ink.
So
So hey, shout out Ladies of
yes,
Ink.
Ladies
I
of
was gonna
Ink.
get to that. I was gonna get to that. They're my girls. I love
Yes,
them.
and so
Yeah.
just to go support Lady all the time. But
Yeah.
all the panelists that be up there, like they dope. They come from different walks of life,
Yeah.
different states, different cities.
Okay.
And it's just good to see them in a different light outside of like conventions and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
So
Okay. So real quick, since you touched on it, let's talk about Ladies of Ink tour. First
let's
of
go.
all, I beat Lady L in a dance battle.
What?
Yeah, I beat her in the dance battle at Nine
She gonna
Mag.
call you up now?
Yeah, I know she gonna call me up. I'm a tag her in this too. So I beat her in this dance battle, and but I got to meet all of the ladies, and we hung out with them. We
Mm-hmm.
did a few conventions with them, and I love the vibe. I love seeing, even though it's not. I think it's some Puerto Ricans, some Mexican, but seeing women of color
Yes.
in this crew supporting each other and tattooing and pushing the art and the unity and the vibes and
Mm-hmm.
just the empowerment. It's a dope vibe. So break it down. How has your experience been with the Ladies of Ink,
Let me
man?
tell you something.
Yeah.
You the first person that mentioned Ladies of Ink to me.
Okay.
You mentioned it, and then I was like, Ladies of Ink.
Yeah.
What? We got that?
Yeah.
Because remember, I was telling you like it's hard being a woman in this industry. Where I
Right.
feel like it's not enough women.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "You heard of Ladies of Ink?" And I'm like, "What? No, I ain't heard of Ladies of Ink."
Yeah.
I looked them up, and I was like, "Damn,
They getting
this
busy.
that shit." When I tell you, it was it was mind boggling just to research them, look at the page, the website,
Yeah.
to see the mission statements, the goals that everybody was a part of. It was dope, and then everybody was welcoming. Like you asked them questions, they responded back to things. Now there was like it was an application process and things like that. I did my application.
Mm-hmm.
I was beating my ass about that because I was like, I gotta say some shit that's gonna stand out. That's
Right.
like not what everybody else beta said, but we all go through the same shit as artists,
Exactly.
So it was like, all right, how I'm gonna sauce it up and put key on that.
Right.
And when I did, I got accepted into the organization.
Yeah. Okay.
I was geeked. I paid for my banner right away. She
Okay.
sent that motherfucker. I was like, ew, mama, we made it.
You in there?
I was geeked. And then even now, my first convention that I did with the Ladies of Ink was in Atlanta.
Okay.
And now I will say this: it was like 20 of us.
Yeah.
We took a whole row.
Yeah.
Now because it was so big, I really didn't get to build like rapport or relationships with a lot of the ladies.
Right.
It was too many of us.
Right.
So it was like it was Plush on the side of me. Of course, I built a relationship with her, Ryan Kelly.
Okay.
She was over there, so I'm chopping it up with her. Like, and I talked to a lot of them, Ran and all of them.
Yeah.
But Motown was right next to me too.
Yeah.
Okay. No, Motown was not next to me. It was Most Dope Inc.
Okay.
Most Dope. She
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah.
So
all of them raw, man. They're my homies,
they
man.
raw as fuck.
I kick it with them.
Hey.
They party hard too. They be outside.
it's an organization of some raw ass women, and
yeah,
I fuck
no
with
doubt.
that.
Yes,
And
sir.
so, but that first convention, and Lady L, she pulled me to the side because I went to the Black Tattoo Experience that after that convention as well.
Okay.
And she's like, "How did you feel?" And so I let her know, like,
Yeah.
it's not what I expected, like it was a lot of us and this and that. She was like, "Well, I feel it." She was like, "Thank you for being real with your experience."
Right.
She like, "But just stay along for the journey, and it's gonna get different." And
Yeah.
literally, like I didn't do too many conventions after that with them because life was lifing. But
Right.
I stayed in tune with the group chats online. It was supportive and everything like that. And even now, last year we did Chicago convention. It was like 5 or 6 of us.
Okay.
When I say that was dope because it's interpersonal at that point.
Right.
You can literally talk and walk to each station and talk to everybody. When it's 20 people, it's like, shit.
Yeah.
Damn, they're all the way down there.
Yeah.
So it was a little better that time. Built a relationship with a couple of the ladies.
Okay.
And then even when I went to the Black Tattoo Experience in Miami, it wasn't a convention, but I did go with a couple of ladies, and we shared a room and stuff like that. We got to know each other more. It's always just
Right.
dope vibes. And then it's also different too because, like I said, I work at a shop and I'm the only female. And
Mhm.
so when I talk to people about the Ladies of Ink, let them know like I've never worked in like a female ran shop or a female own shop managed multiple females. I'm literally the only female in a lot of shit. And so,
Exactly.
but I don't think I would trade it because if I was to leave the shop environment, anything like that, it would be to go back on my own personal stuff.
Right.
But the thing with the ladies, I like the fact that we can travel.
Yeah.
We in tune with traveling.
Right.
We like to travel.
Right.
So it's like giving yourself that experience, that figuring yourself that energy. And I
Right.
fuck with that. So that's one thing I do fuck with the ladies of ink.
Yeah. So uh in these little 5 years, you've had a hell of a run, right?
I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. Hey, I
You,
did a lot of shit in these 5 years in the tattoo industry that motherfuckers who's 20 years in this motherfucker have not done.
yeah.
And it's simply just because I put myself out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm shy as hell certain times, you
Yeah.
know, but and I ain't even gonna speak that over my life no more.
You always saying that to me, man, and I be like, stop
Cause
with the bullshit because I'm telling you, when you walked up to me the day I met you, you was like, "How you doing? I'm Key, and I'm a tattoo artist. I came over here to introduce
you know the
myself to
energy
you."
it took though.
You was like, gang. I'm like, damn, she gang. Like you stuck out in my mind. I'm like, she's about this life.
Cause when I went there, literally my cousin was bartending at that event. So I'm
Yeah.
like, gee, I gotta get in that room.
Yeah.
So when I got there though, I got scared. I was like, oh shit, they
Yeah.
in this room.
Yeah.
And at the time, like I ain't know none of y'all. It was just like I was looking at y'all on the internet. So
But
my cousin,
hold on, I hate to cut you off, but you handled that shit.
thank you.
When you walked away, the only thing I saw was confidence. So
Yeah.
if you did, so if you keep
Trust
saying
me, I was shaking in my boots.
yeah, you keep saying you shy, but I still ain't seen that part of you, man.
Hey.
So I don't know. Don't own that, okay?
Oh no, I don't own it because I mean at the end of the day, like I said, like I'm a psych myself out. Like I'm a sit back, I'm gonna observe the room,
Right.
and then once I get that energy and I start walking towards you, I tell people all the time, the most you can do is just walk in the room and speak.
Yeah. Lead with
After
confidence.
that is you there.
Yeah. Everything else is that.
My cousin was like, go talk to him. My
Yeah.
best friend was like, girl, go introduce yourself. I was like, fuck no.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, he working.
And then like what, a year later we hosted a sip and paint together, which
Yeah.
was fucking lit, by
Yes.
the way.
Yes.
Yeah, it was on and popping.
Hey. Every time I look at them pictures, I'd be like, we had a ball that night.
We had a ball.
So,
You did. Yeah.
That's dope.
That's what's up, man. Well, listen, the part of your journey since I've been watching you probably from, I think when I met you, you were at the suite. You were in the suite space, right? I don't think you were in the crib, but seeing you go to Second City and seeing you participate in the Ladies of Ink and being at the shop you're at now, which is coincidentally the shop that we were renovating to begin season 6 and 7 of Black Ink Crew, but then we ended up going back to Lacuna.
Yeah, sometimes they still get spam mail for NAMAC.
Yeah, but I saw the potential of that shop, so I know it's a dope work environment, you know. But being a part and getting to see all of your journey, man, it's been dope because something that you may not think about that I have just observed is that every single obstacle that has come your way, you've overcome it. Every single one, you still here.
Let's go.
You still doing this. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know how many people. I mean, you know the stigma on art. They say, quote unquote, the starving artists. You're starving artists, right? But as real serious artists, we get to work. We have so much shit to sell these people, and so many personal creations that are our interpretation of the way we see the world, that we're never gonna be starving. You know, so to see you and your work ethic, like you really are one of us.
Yes.
You feel me? So I just want to give you that. I want to give you those flowers right now. You feel me? Because there's a lot of people out here just, you know how it go. They like, I can make a lot of money tattooing, and they just out here bullshit.
And I hate when they just think about that. It's like, nah, G, it's more than that. Like, you got to understand, you got to have the mindset for it, just the ambition, the motivation, every bit of it. Like, because it'd have been days I wanted to quit everything else, but I ain't want to quit being a tattoo artist or an artist in general. I'd be like, nah, like that's me.
Right.
And you know, and you one of the artists as well. Like I've always looked up to. I still look at your page all the time. Look at the shit you're doing. even with painting, like I wasn't like I always would paint, but as far as like how I paint now, buying multiple canvases, just have it sitting around the room,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, like this is growth. Like I wasn't doing this shit 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So let's talk about that, man.
let's talk
So
about
because you got a unique style.
it. Yeah.
You've painted a few pieces at our sip and paint event, and
Hmm.
I've seen you like what what drew you to the brush and the paint?
Um, backgrounds.
Okay.
It in its most essence, like backgrounds. Like
Okay.
even with tattooing,
Yeah.
I always say stuff like, I want to come into my style, but I want my backgrounds to like just tell a story too.
Right.
So with the canvases, it was like you would have a stencil on there, and I'd be like, what my background gonna be?
Right.
And from there, it set the tone for how the rest of the image gonna look.
That's dope. That's dope. And that's in reverse
Yeah.
because most people just paint in the lines I made, and I'll be like, "Well, where's the person at? What's the background? What, are they in the city or in the country?" But you do it in reverse. You
Yeah.
put the colors and stuff in the background, and then I always see whenever you come and paint at the event, I see people come and look at your canvas, and then they be like, "Oh, I gotta go back. I gotta add something."
Yeah.
So
All the
I
time.
love that, man. I love that. But you also got a very unique style because you see kind of in like shades and colors and lights
Hmm.
and blocks. You don't necessarily paint it how the average person eye sees it.
Hmm.
Are your styles influenced by any particular artist?
Um, I don't think so yet.
Okay.
I don't think so yet. I have to do more research,
Okay.
and then I may find it out. But right now, like even with the pieces that I'm doing, and from when I first started painting 2 years ago, like actively, like at home and stuff,
Hmm.
I started out doing more abstract,
Okay.
and then it was like I ventured away from abstract, and then I went into like women faces,
Right.
and then from the women faces, I went into the bodies.
Right.
Then from the bodies, I went back to the backgrounds.
Hmm.
Then I went bigger.
Yeah.
Then now I'm like, all right, what do I give? But now it's like, I got in our phones we have so much shit. So now I just start going through my screenshots and I be like, all right, what was the inspiration today?
Hmm.
And then I take from that and then I put myself in it. Whether
Yeah.
it's the green hair,
Yeah.
the titties, the lips, the
Right.
eyes, like I
Right.
take a certain feature of mine and I
Right.
put it in there.
Okay.
And then and then by me doing that, it's like it make me think more about making it personal.
It's
That's
personal.
another reason why I feel like it's hard though for me to sell some of my pieces like
Mhm.
originally, and I have to do more prints
Okay.
because I be having such an emotional like connection with my pieces,
Yeah.
but I got to get out of that.
We don't never want to sell our art. That's why
Oh,
we got to get out. Well, I got out of that shit. Every time you come in here, it's something different on the walls.
hey,
But that was the hardest thing to do because you're pouring. It's mental, it's spiritual, it's physical, and when you're done and you love it, and my pieces don't even have a piece of me in there, so I can imagine when you putting a piece of you into each piece of artwork.
yeah.
Yeah.
But and then what I fuck with your pieces
Mm,
is they be women.
mm,
I don't draw men,
yeah.
and it sucks. But I
Yeah.
don't draw men.
Right.
The most I've started drawing men is when I started to get into anime,
Okay.
and then I was like, oh, and the reason with anime is because anime gives you the image, the background, the personality.
Right.
For me to want to draw more and get put my little whip back in there,
Yeah.
that's when I started drawing men. But other than that, no.
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna do the brothers too. I just woke up one day and I was like, I just want to paint beautiful black women
yeah.
because it's not enough to me. This is my observation. It's not enough beautiful representation of women of color, right? So I wanted. I feel like, you know, like the small pieces I do now, kind of the
Mm-hmm.
medium pieces. I call them office pieces
Yeah.
because it's like all these cubicles in America. It should be a beautiful black woman hanging in every cubicle in America
Absolutely.
because black women have literally, or women of color, black women have literally been the backbone of the American economy. So
Mm-hmm.
why are they not celebrated in all of these spaces all over the country?
You should put a picture of all your paintings in a binder,
Yeah,
like stamps. Remember how they used to sell stamps?
yeah.
And go to different office spaces. Let them flip through it.
Gotta flip through it. Damn, that's a
Which one
good.
you want in here?
Hold on, let me write that down. Give me that. Look
Because a
at
lot of your pieces, like you use, like the canvases be similar in size and stuff like that.
yeah.
And even what I'm noticing with like my pieces, so I try to paint like portraits and stuff like that.
Okay.
But then I get lost in the portrait as far as like shading and giving. Like I be like, damn, I wanted her to look up, but right now she looking at me.
Right.
So right now I'm working on a piece. The
Okay.
canvas is like 30 by 34. It's intimidating. I have been working on
Like
that piece
that,
for.
right? That's about it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
right.
intimidating. It's
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
So no.
Do that shit.
No. So I've been working on it. So when I first started on it, it's set for a year.
Yeah.
And then one day Michael Jackson Butterflies came on.
Okay.
And I don't know, it just went through my body. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I got the painting on that motherfucker. I was like, oh, okay.
All right.
Then now last week I sat down with it and I was working out, looked over at it, and I just started like painting the face.
Yeah.
I went over everything I had already had. I just did some other shit. And I was like, damn, I'm fucking with it now. Like I see an image. But it sat for a year because I literally could not see what I was trying to do.
Right.
But it's also like a misunderstood piece.
Yeah.
Like it's puzzle pieces and shit in it that's missing. So
yeah, because you got that unique style. You
Yeah.
be like, you really can't interpret where one of your pieces is going until it's done.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn.
also I have unfinished pieces.
Right.
So like even when it's done, it's not done. Like you
Right.
can always go back in that bitch and add some other
Yeah.
shit you can take
Yeah.
away from it. You can I do that shit on purpose though.
And that's the part that most people miss about art, because even when, every week at our event, we doing 40 canvases.
Mm-hmm.
And I go around and I observe people and they put one layer of paint on there and they be like, oh, it looks horrible, I'm done. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah, that shit got sick.
Like, yeah, you got plenty of layers that you can build and add on and yeah.
That's why I add my background, dab a little bit, go
Yeah.
back in it,
Yeah.
touch up a little bit, because it's not, first of all, when I'm at home painting, it's sometimes days to weeks before I'm literally done with a painting,
Right.
because I want it to sit for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Then I want to go back over it. Then I want that to sit for 24 hours. I want to see how it settles. And at the painting sips, like you don't have that time like that because it's
Right.
a night out.
Yeah.
Y'all doing it one night a week.
Mhm.
And so even all of those pieces, I have them lined up in my windowsill. And
Yeah.
one day I'm going to go back in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just give it that second coat.
Yeah. But are you going to sell them, though? You're like, no, I don't want to sell you. I'm in love with you.
Look,
No.
oh, man. Because, look, I've done some dope pieces up there. So it's
Yeah.
like every time I look at them, though, everybody be like, damn, that shit raw. Where you do that at?
Yeah.
Oh, that is at a paint sip.
Oh, I got a sexy Air Max that you did with some, like some cheetah print on it.
Oh.
I got that piece. I'm like, this is a key
Yeah.
original. I'm holding on to this
Absolutely.
one. Yeah, no
So,
doubt.
yeah.
No doubt. Okay, man. Okay, so we talked about all this good stuff. The art is good, the tattooing is good. You've had growth. So now let's get into some of the other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the pet peeves of the tattooing industry, because I'm just gonna come right out. I'm gonna address the elephant in the room, and this is something that we've had a lot of conversations about.
Yes.
Well, for one, first off, as artists, as tattooers, we're in a personal space with people, and it is an intimate interaction in all times, right? I hear people tell me all the time, I could never date a tattoo artist because you've got ass in your face, blah 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 blah. This and
We
that,
all
right?
got a booty.
right. But it works both ways, because as a beautiful woman, you are meeting and interviewing and creating for male clientele, and they come into the shop, and it's an intimate, personal experience. So let's talk about these dudes, man. How are the men who come and get this art? How are they behaving overall? Are they professionals? Are they handling their business?
Not all the time.
Not overall.
I would say, okay, in the 5 years, I would
Yeah.
say this. Now, like, I have more male clientele now than I did in the beginning.
Okay.
Because I took everything personal.
Right.
In the beginning, oh my God.
Yeah.
The advances,
Right.
the infatuation,
Right.
the lust.
Right.
It was overwhelming to where it was like, nah, I'm just gonna tap women.
Right.
Women come pay the money. Men can't even sit for this shit, and they want to be in your face, looking down your shirt. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, I may have my titties out. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
It's my life.
Right.
But
But I prefer tattooing women too.
they
yeah.
don't complain a lot.
Yeah.
They tolerance is real.
And
they have babies.
And they're visual. They want
They
something
ideas are way
beautiful.
better.
Yeah, they want something beautiful.
Men be wanting clouds, doves, a rose,
Smoke.
Little
Yeah.
simple, little shit that be like this.
Sorry, guys. I got to keep it 100, man. I got to keep it 100.
Yeah, I gotta have some better ideas. And then they love to come. You be like, you the artist, be creative. You
Yeah.
ain't even give me an idea.
Yeah.
Then when I get them something, they like, nah, that ain't what I want. Well, it sound like
Yeah.
you got an idea.
Right.
So that's really why, like, at first I would steer away from the men because I didn't feel like they was incomplete to
Right.
me at first. It was like, y'all already approaching me wrong. It's the yo's, this and that, or it's what's up, ma. Y'all sending hella heart eyes and shit like that. Then it's
Right.
like, then they like, if I don't respond to the heart eyes, then they like, damn, I want to come get tatted about you. So you don't know more because I didn't respond to a heart eye. Like it
Right.
be shit like that. Like they fishing and then they try to take the worm back.
Right.
And so once I stopped taking that shit personal though, it was now it's like I've had men like, do you date your clients? I'm like, no, you either a client or we dating.
Right.
And he was like, well, I want to take you on a date.
Right.
I was like, all right. We went on a date. I was like, well, I ain't really feeling the date part, but like, if you still want to be a client, that's cool. Like, I'm not gonna just cut you out like that.
Right.
And so, he became a client.
Okay.
And that was that.
That's a smooth brother right there.
Hey,
that's
but no, because like sometimes we'll be in a session and like he be giving me googly eyes.
Ah, he's still in love.
Yo, I would look up, and he would be like,
yeah.
I'd be like,
yeah, he trying to hit you with the what Eddie Murphy say, the Mac Daddy Alleganza of the month vibe.
Yes, all of that. And so, but like now, I just feel like now, like I set the standard.
Yeah.
This is about art. I literally had a man look me in the face 2 weeks ago at the club.
Mm-hmm.
He like, yeah, I'm trying to get such and such tatted. I got this done by motherfucking Nan Mag, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, let me see. I put my camera on. He was embarrassed. He like, no, don't do that. I'm cool. I'm like, well, you can send me a picture later.
Right.
So he's like, well, how much you gonna charge me? I said, you need a consultation. He go, you professional, ain't you?
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do.
You just asked me how much for some shit that I don't even know. You didn't even let me look at.
Yeah.
And then you asked me how much.
That's what we do.
Man.
So let me ask you, man, because I found, we have conversations about this, and I remember us having a conversation about you taking things personal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you got to that level.
Yeah.
Because I personally saw you missing an opportunity to be creative.
Yeah.
Because you weren't there yet to mentally be in control of these situations.
Yeah.
So first, let me say I'm happy to hear and happy to see that you've done that. But also, one of the things we deal with, because let's keep it 100, we dealing with our people. And our people, especially on the tattoo side, because we're new to this industry on the professional side, we really just got the doors open to us in the 90s and the early 2000s. Is it hard is it hard when people find it difficult that you're coming across as a professional?
I would say a lot of them sometimes don't continue with the booking process.
Right.
Like they'll go to somebody who may just tell them a flat out price, and then, or they may hit me up months later like, yo, I'm still trying to get something done, woo, out the band, whatever like that. But in the essence of it, like I've had people that tell me before, you ask too many questions.
Yeah.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
But I need to ask these questions because before you come in my face and sit in my space, I need to know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
Like I don't want anybody in my face as a complete stranger.
Especially as a female tattoo artist. I dig that.
Men and women, like I want to have like some type of a confident rapport with you before you get here. Like,
right.
I don't want to be filling you out as I'm in a session or having you look me upside my head, or you don't get my personality the moment that you meet me. So, yeah.
I dig that. I think that's also part of the reason why so many people got tattoos that they got to explain. Because you think you buying a pair of socks or you think you buying a pair of shorts. So you want to come in, pay this money, and leave with something, and you don't want to commit to the time of getting something that's truly creative, truly detail-oriented, and truly dope. And buying a poster is not like buying a piece of art. You know what I'm saying? So
I think we have to do a lot of educating with our people as far as like understanding art, understanding that like just because I'm black and I did this don't mean this shit ain't worth no money.
Yeah. And like, I'm not thirsty.
Like this shit'll sit here till it's time to be fucking sold.
Yeah.
And so it's been plenty of times I've set a price.
Yeah.
Motherfucker be like, let me see your work or some shit. It's like I told you that price because I know my work. If I show you my work, I want more.
Yeah. And why haven't you looked at my work? If you all up in my face, why haven't you?
But that'd be cool too, though. 'Cause that mean that like people talking word of mouth. Like I like
Yeah,
when people
yeah,
doing that. Like motherfuckers be letting them know about me. So,
yeah,
but I do have a lot of like rude people who say like certain things like, oh well, no, I don't feel like that's worth it. If I'm spending my money, like I had one guy online.
yeah.
He's like, who do tattoos in Chicago or something? They get to tag me,
Right,
and I'm like, well, it's a such and such deposit. He
right,
said, not to be rude, but
right.
still finna be
You
rude.
finna be rude.
He goes,
Yeah.
I don't pay no goddamn deposits.
Right.
If I don't get that shit the same day, what
Yeah.
the bin, he like, well, I ain't doing it.
Right.
Fine.
Yeah.
Needless to say,
Yeah.
he's never gotten tatted at me.
Yeah. And I bet his ink don't look like nothing. I can almost guarantee it.
Man.
Yeah, I can definitely.
Man, and the people who have the worst tattoos though, like some of the people who have the worst tattoos will sit in my seat
Yeah.
and they'll try to like critique me or like be down my throat about some shit, and I'd be
Right.
like, nigga.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. I don't, I don't get into personally critiquing people's ink. I run into people who like, what you think about this? And I just kind of be like, oh, okay.
Who did that? That shit ass.
I just
I
be
telling
like,
them that now.
I'd be like, it's a tattoo because because I'm an artist
Mm-hmm.
and because I don't understand from another artist's point of view, I can't have an interpretation of what you were trying to
Now,
render
Greezy,
on this person's
some of that
skin.
shit be chicken scratch.
I mean, listen, man, you're not gonna get me to say that on camera.
Chicken scratch.
You're not gonna get me to
Look,
say that.
I've dealt with a whole lot of
Yeah.
critiquing on my own
because
shit. So
because
it's like,
because a lot of people come to me with stuff that people I know have tattooed, and I'm just like, oh, okay, and they like, tell me what you think, and you know how it is in this industry. We like Erica
I'd be
Badu
like,
say,
well, they could have made the lines thicker there, or they didn't finish shading a little bit, but it's okay.
hey, listen, I tell people where this is what I do. I want your piece to look like this, and they'll be like, okay, cool. Somebody came to me one time and they were like, yeah, I asked Ryan about you. And he was like, yeah, well, Greasy, he good, but he can't do what I do. And I was like, okay. And he was like, man,
But people be doing that on purpose.
But listen, so they said that, and they was like, he didn't have to pour smoke on you like that. And I was like, no, he was not pouring salt on me. He was telling the truth. Like, I'm a very talented artist, but there are things he does that I can't do. And that's okay. I ain't taking offense to that. We two different types of artists.
Right.
You feel
There's
me?
enough space for all of us.
Yeah. So I learned from that experience with that person and them and what they were trying to do. I never get on that. And you know me, I'm in the industry. So people send me shit all the time. And I just be like, oh, okay. All right. You know, man, this is look crazy. Oh, okay. If that's how you feel.
Yeah. When people send me stuff though, I just be like, oh, who did that? And they said, I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Now,
That's okay.
one artist to another, when ain't no cameras on, I might break some stuff down to you. But yeah, I'm not gonna come on camera. And
No, I don't have people necessarily like asking me about other people's work or like sending DMs and stuff. Like I may have artists sending stuff, but like if a person sits in my seat or they consulting with me about a tattoo, and then they're like, oh well, I want it right here or something, and they got some other stuff all around it.
Right.
Instantly, I'm like, well, can you give me some clear space? Because clearly, I'm finna give you a different tattoo style from that. So then eventually, you're gonna want to do cover ups.
Yeah.
Now I'll do your cover ups.
Yeah.
But do you want to pay for it?
All right.
Or do you want to just give me some clear skin and we can go from there? Yeah. People be, oh my God, our people be so difficult on giving you clear skin.
Yeah.
Like they be like, yeah, I want you to put a eagle right here in between this, and then they be having some shit over here that's completely different style. It could be traditional or some shit. Yeah. And it's like you want a realism eagle right here on the what? Yeah. But they don't understand that shit though.
But let me break it down to you. I have come up with so many creative ways to break down to people that they're going to have to let me do what I want to do so that their arm looks great and not like it's bullshit. Right. And you 5 years in the game, so you've come a long way. But I promise you, in 5 more years, when I interview you again, you're going to be like, man, remember when it was, now I'm doing whole sleeves and blah, 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 blah. So just trust me. It gets easier over time because you see this jacked up stuff over and over again, and then your mind starts to work. And then you learn, okay, well, if I do this and I do this and I do that, then I can make that whole sleeve look beautiful. So trust me, it gets greater later. I know it's frustrating now. Trust me, I know it because we all get so excited when we get, oh, it's a blank canvas. Yeah.
But even now, what I do, like, and I get people to come back with this.
Yeah.
I learned that last year. I can't remember who I learned it from. But before they leave, I tell them, like, you know what would look good right here? A giraffe. Like, say they get in the jungle piece or some shit, some leaves or something.
Right.
They be like, damn, you right. I'm gonna book that shit. And people have come back from that just off the fact of you've given them that extra idea. They didn't have to think about that shit.
Right.
Because people always be like, yeah, I want my whole arm covered, but I don't even know what I want.
You put a giraffe on a dude? I would have never thought to get a giraffe.
Did.
Yeah.
I actually did. I put it on Strati.
Let me find out. Let me see your.
But I got giraffes on me.
Angel, let me see your giraffe, bro. Like, yeah, you know, that just.
And I freehanded that one. So, you know, like, I'm not too fond of doing too much freehanded stuff, but like at 5 years now, I do try to dibble and dabble into certain freehand stuff. Like I start to freehand some of my backgrounds and certain words and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have bad handwriting, but I do not be wanting my handwriting on people. I be like, shit, we can get the actual fun, like it's gonna be clean.
Yeah. All right.
But sometimes I will freestyle. But I freehanded the giraffe on them and everything. Gave it the little African piece in the back. And,
Angel, let me see that giraffe, man. I want.
But also, so with me and him, with our mentorship and stuff like that, so every year he come to me on his birthday. I do him a piece. We didn't do one this year because I was tired.
Yeah.
He called. I was in bed. I was like, hello?
Yeah. Right.
I ain't got it. Call me back later.
Gotcha.
So we may still do a piece later this month or something like that. But, you know, that's a mentor turned permanent client forever. Like, I'm on his body. He on me too, though. So, you know.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's one of the great things about the art journey is that, you know, you end up with relationships and artwork and both of those things.
Now, our relationship, it's up and down a lot of times, though. Like, you know.
As all artists are. Art, we crazy. Yeah, let's keep it 100. Artists, we crazy sometimes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, sometimes we don't want to be bothered with no motherfucker.
But no, in the beginning, I wanted to be so professional because, like I said, I was working the corporate jobs and stuff. So it was like, you know, like, good morning, how you doing, and stuff like that. Now I'd be like, what the fuck you want? Like, shit like that. Or, you know, hey, like, today I got time. Like, it just be like that. But it's literally, it's on the artist realm because, like, sometimes I'll call artists, they be like, what the fuck? What key? What you want? Yeah. I'd be like, damn, who pissed in your Cheerios?
Yeah, we be like that. We be like that sometimes. So, yeah, you know how it go.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, man. So you've had an awesome journey inside of these 5 years. Mm-hmm. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I want to be teaching art. Like, granted, I still want to be in the midst of it and everything like that, but I have a lot of siblings, and so I even asked them last week, "Oh, y'all want to learn how to tattoo?" Mm-hmm. They like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Why y'all ain't been say this shit? We could have been smoking this shit. Like, y'all could have been learning with me." But 5 years ago, like when motherfuckers asked me to teach them to tattoo, I was like, "Yo, I'm still learning." And even today, like I'm still learning, but I'm putting myself out there to learn. Right. Anything I need to know, I'm gonna know, and so I feel more confident with teaching the basics or teaching the fundamentals of an apprenticeship and stuff like that. And so, I want to get more into that in 5 years, as well as selling more of my paintings. Right. Art teachers really don't make too much, but by me working in a school as well, it's pretty dope. Like, I love the art department at the school I work at. Like, the energy is good. They creative as fuck. Like, them kids be in there designing clothes, making sculptures, all type of shit. Every time I see them coming to school with something, I be like, let me see. Yeah. And I know they probably be like, what the fuck you want to see this for? But they don't know yet. I just be like, oh, I'm an artist. Like, I'm just intrigued by it. They be like, oh, okay. I be like, how you do this? And I talk to them about them, ask them questions and everything. And where they'd walk past 100 people and motherfuckers just stared at them. Right. Ask some questions. Yeah. So I want to get into. So you
done got bit by the education bug working at the school.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is now I will say that has always been an aspiration of mine. It was for me to work in my high school, but when I got older and seeing reality, I was like, shit. Yeah. I could work in a good school versus a bad school. Do I want to break up fights or do I want to look at fights?
Yeah, you don't want to be Mr. Clark and lean on me and shit, right?
I do not want to be Mr. Clark. Right. So, even at the school I'm in now, like I've tried to, I'm working on doing a hip hop dance organization and stuff like that. And that's just simply, they have other organizations and stuff like that with dancing. Okay. But it's not hip hop. It's not the style of dance that I do. And when I'm in environments, I want to see shit that I do. Right. And the only way I'm going to see shit that I do is if I do it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Word. But listen, man, I want to stay inside of the time frame, and we got a whole other. We talked about tattooing and all this other stuff. We didn't even get into the yoga and the
Oh
dance
shit.
and the education and all of this. So we're gonna have you come back and chop it up with us, man.
For sure, for sure.
But I appreciate you giving me this time today.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me and fuck with it.
Yeah, thank you for coming out, man. Do you want to tell the people where can they find you at on social media?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at __KE Inc. You can find me on Facebook at Kere, Kere, Love Flair, like Gucci.
Hey,
Then you can find
yeah.
me on TikTok. It's the same Kere LaFlair. Before they die out, if they still gonna be there, find me on there, Kere LaFlair. What other you digs do I have? I think that's pretty much it. I
Okay.
really balance my stuff on Instagram and Facebook. And then if you want to reach out, send me a text only 872-265-1532. I respond in a timely manner. Text your idea, budget, where you want it at. You can send pictures. You can send a whole lot of shit. Just let me know and we can bust it.
Key Inc. in the building. __.
Don't forget the
KE.
underscores.
Don't forget the underscores. Hey, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming out, man. You can find us on IG at Black on Black Wealth One. You can
Mm-hmm.
find us on TikTok for as long as it lasts at Black on Black Wealth _. You can find us on Facebook at Black on Black Wealth. It is always a pleasure chopping it up with you. And you know that. We'll be back to see you guys real soon with some new and exciting guests and dialogue, touching bases on what's happening around Chicago and around the world. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will holler back at you. Give
Peace
them a
out.
peace, Kiri.
Yes. Ew, ew, ew,
Hey.
ew. I don't know why that's my favorite sound effect. Hey, I used to DJ too with the dancing.